back to the channel. I'm Mo.J and we are locked in. This is Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Episode 4, the recap. We know that this week we're getting introduced to the mob. We also know Rock is trying to expand out to New Jersey. Kanan is still trying to figure out what's really going on with his mother because Malcolm has told him, I am your father. This episode, we're going to figure out a lot, but before we jump into it and break this down, if you like power content, recaps, live after show discussions, character breakdowns, hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. Make sure you hit that like button and follow me on Instagram, MOEDOTJ. As expected, we're waiting for the series to start picking up and we're midway. Episode 4, episode 5, and 6. This is where everything starts to come together and we really move forward how the Power Universe was made. So let's jump into it and break it down. This is episode 4 of Raising Kanan.
You the heir to this throne, Kanan, and it's waiting for you, if you want it.
We pick up exactly where we wanted to know what was going to happen in New Jersey. And we see that they're reeing up from the 40s in Baisley and they're about to take this across the bridge. They put it in the back of trucks behind false walls. So yeah, we got a lot of work headed over to New Jersey. Unfortunately, it's just a part of the game. They stop at a light. Some guy comes out in the middle of the street. He starts tying up his shoes. All of a sudden, he pulls out a shotgun. They done shot the engine block. He gets pulled out the truck. And the mob, they tell him, don't nothing come over here without Saul Bosselli getting a piece of that cut. So the mafia has inserted themselves early. They heard that there was a shipment coming in. And unless we're getting the cut, the boss, Sal, no one brings anything over here without him getting a cut. The first time Duns laid eyes on Raquel, she was mad. She was trying to get a hold of Lou. He was at the studio. Yeah, the stash had got robbed. Now, they actually met up after this and they're at an art gallery. And he's telling her, oh, this art, you know, saying it's magnificent. She's saying, I know who you are. I know where you from. Why you try to act different and try to give me all these big words? And Cartier says, in the art gallery, I'm Cartier. In the streets, I'm still Cartier. I just go a little bit harder. And now Rock is catching on. She's like, wait a minute. I know what you're doing in here. Rock pieced it all together and figured out, oh, Duns, he's really in these streets. He buys the artwork with cash, brings the artwork into his gallery, and then he sells it for a profit, making that dirty money clean. He's washing the money through the art gallery. So now she has a lot of money she's sitting on. Rats are eating on it. She got it back from Unique. Her and Cartier, they might go into a little business together. This is the exclusive clip that we got dropped earlier. Kanan actually goes and visits his uncle Vernon. Now he goes in there. Vernon ain't seen him since he was a little kid. Like, who the hell are you? He's like, oh, I'm Defcon's son. He's like, oh, okay. But he's basically telling Kanan, that's your dad. You look just like him. It's time for you to get in the streets and start hustling. Now Kanan is listening to this, but he's not getting any real information about who Defcon was. He just, oh, he was a street dude. He had his own place by the time he was your age. He had all the girls. So Kanan doesn't know what to believe. And before he leaves, he's like, hey, look, don't forget about your uncle in here. Put some money on my commissary. So he ain't talked to Kanan in years, but he wants some money on them books. It's looking like a repeat of last week. Marvin gets a call talking about, hey, New Jersey, we got stuck up, man. They hit us. He's saying, man, I'm on the road because he took Kanan to see his uncle. Lou comes to the studio. He's saying he didn't want to mess with Jersey anyway. So everyone's trying to get in touch with Marvin and Lou to let them know, hey, Jersey got messed up. But they're both saying get in touch with Rock. Now at the studio, the soundboard is gone. Crown comes in. He's like, what joke? Oh, I sold the mixing board because we had to pay some of the expenses. Don't get mad though, I found another one. Lou snatches him up and tells him, I'm not mad, but this is where my passion is. I'm trying to get this label up off the ground. And you selling stuff? I'm not mad. I'm just a little frustrated right now. Basically telling Crown, hey, do something else like this and that's your ass. As I was mentioning, Marvin got a call also, but he can't take it. He can't do nothing. He took Kanan upstate to visit his uncle. And when he gets in the car, he starts talking to Kanan like, man, them Stark boys, they can't do nothing for you. Did you know your Uncle Vernon used to stick up old women for their Social Security? Yeah, you got me and Lulu. We may not be the best, and this is him projected on himself because he's saying, we may not be who you want to be, but we're always going to be here for you because, you know, he's still trying to get right with Juke. He may not did everything right with her. He hasn't did everything right with Kanan, but he's saying, look, me and Lulu, we the only uncles that really matter. Jukebox finally builds up the courage to go and talk to her mother, Kenya. You remember she went to the church last week and they made eye contact and she ran. Well, she comes over there She buzzes. Kenya lets her in, and they need to have the talk. Now, when Jukebox is sitting down, they speak briefly about Marvin. She asks, how is Marvin? She said, oh, Marvin is Marvin. Y'all know how that can get. But Laverne jumps right into, why did you leave? And now we get the story of where Kenya's been, because she left when Laverne was 1 year old. She said she was young. She was unsure about Marvin. She thought she was going to go to LA, become a star, get rich, and come back and get her daughter. But you know, life don't always happen how you plan it out. But now she's back and she's saying, look, God brought you here. This is all I can ask for. I'm not asking for no forgiveness. I messed up, but let's start right here. We don't know what Juke is going to do yet, but it sounds like Kenya is sincere about this. It's time for the Thomas family to link up. Well, they put Kanan in another room because we got to talk real business about what's going on in Jersey. Now, it was some white guys, some Italian guys. We in a world of out here. Marvin is like, look, from the information I got, this could potentially be very, very bad for us because they got a lot of muscle over there across that bridge. While they talk about what the Italians got going on, Kanan is sent into another room. He has some air freshener because it smells real bad. We're like, damn, what could be smelling like that in the house? So Kanan is snooping around. He opens up the closet. When he looks in there, it smells bad, but he sees boxes of Nike. So he looks in there like any kid would do. One box had a pair of shoes, but then he opens up another box and he sees money on top of money. And what does Kanan do? He decides to take a stack of money and put it in his coat. What Marvin can tell us, these Italians, they ain't nothing to mess with. We don't know nothing that's going on in Jersey. You even hear Lulu say we should fall back a little bit until we can figure out what's what over there. Now, Rock tells them straight up, look, this is a part of the game. Whether we're worried about people skimming money from inside the corporation, we renegotiating prices on the bricks. This is what it is. But I tell y'all one thing. Neither one of y'all or the Italians are going to tell me what I can and can't do with my business. So Rock, she's all the way in right now. And she tells them, set up a meeting. We're going to meet with them. We're going to see what the mob got to do. But I'm still going to sell what I got to sell. Rock, she really in the game, people. Juliana obviously didn't get the message last week when she got robbed, kidnapped, and forced to help carry boxes of money to a van for Unique. She's still in here watching TV, and guess who pulls up? It's Unique. Now, she's very nervous because of what happened. He ain't tripping. He buys a Sprite. She breaks the large bill for him. He tells her to keep the change, and he looks at her while he's holding her hand and says, I'm just going to call that even. Everything that happened last week, don't worry, it was just business. He moves her hair back, and when he goes outside, guess who he goes up and talks to? Worrell. Worrell is in the Jag telling him, hey, yeah, that's where it's at. That's how you do it. The only thing is, Juliana, she got a look of who Unique was outside talking to. Maybe Worrell wasn't loyal at all. Maybe everything was a setup. Or maybe Worrell's just setting up plays for himself to put himself in charge. Who knows? But you know Unique always has a plan up his sleeve. Lulu is trying to get Bulletproof Records up and running. The only thing is, it's expensive. More money's going out than money coming in, because Famous mixtapes ain't selling now. What was inside of Famous mixtapes are, but ain't no one bumping Famous in the street, put it like that. So he comes up and he's talking to Rock and saying, hey, I'm a little short. You know what I'm saying? Can you look out for your brother? And she said, your money is my money. Any money that you had was money I loaned you to try to pay me back on the money I already loaned you, Lou. What happened to all that money at the studio? We know it's going to be a lot to get this music business up and running. Crown had to sell some of the equipment. So now, not only is he short, they got to recoup everything that was sold to at least get back to where they were. Now, Rock says, I got you. The only thing is, you need to be on point and on time from here on out with the family business. Quit being a hoe. Get up off your knees and come make some money. So now Lulu, he got to get back in it now. Right after giving Lulu the harsh, honest truth about the dope game and making some money, she goes over and force feeds Kanan a spew of lies. She starts to say that I told you to kill that cop because, you know, he's in the business. He threatened to send you up north for the death of D Wiz. He's like, man, that doesn't make sense, Mom. She's saying, these are cops. They're going to lie to you. She won't tell Kanan who his father is. You even heard her say, hey, you went up there and talked to your Uncle Vernon. At least you got to talk to your daddy's brother. She continues to feed this lie to Kanan. And Kanan is hearing all these things, and he actually talked to Malcolm. So as a kid, he doesn't know what to think. Everybody's giving him different information. Even his Uncle Marvin told you, that's your other uncles. I don't know if anyone else knows, but Malcolm is Kanan's father. Jukebox comes back to her house to try to pick up some clothes. And when she goes in her room, she sees that the walls are painted. There's music up on the wall. There's actually a gift on the desk. But she looks, she realizes that Marvin isn't here. So she goes in the closet to try to get clothes, but Marvin shows up. Now he's trying to get back in his daughter's life. He's doing whatever he can. He said, man, I put up some stuff that reminded me of you. This color, it felt like you. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to ease his way back into being that father role because he wants to be there. It's going to take time, especially after what you did. Jukebox runs out of there, though. The showdown we've been waiting on. The Thomas family versus the Bosselli family. Now, Sal, he pulls up and he has all of his mobsters out there. And he's saying, look, don't no one bring nothing over into Jersey without paying that toll. You cross that bridge, you come through that tunnel, you get taxed. Now Raquel is saying, I don't see you in the projects, so you can't put no claim on that. He said, just because you don't see me in the streets, don't mean I ain't in the streets. I'm everywhere. And he hands them a number on how much it's going to be taxed when you bring that work over here. Rock looks at the number. I'm lying. She doesn't even look at it. She balls it up and tells him I decline, basically saying, I'm gonna move that work and ain't no one gonna tax me on what I do. All right, Rock, this could get serious. Lulu seems to be the only one with some sense here, and he's telling Rock, hey, what you're doing with these dudes, it ain't what we doing with Unique. This is different. They're coming for everybody if they come after us. Now Rock is saying, I'm not scared of nothing. It sound like you scared, Lulu. Marvin, you scared? Lulu, he looking at Marvin, and Marvin said, I ain't scared of nobody. Y'all know how Marvin get down. But Rock tells him, look, no more trucks. We still gonna bring work over here. We just gonna take the short bus. So Lulu, don't speak for me again, and don't talk about a business you're barely in. If you want to be solo and do your music stuff, go play tennis. But right now, we in the game. Kanan and robbed the stash, got Famous in the apartment. Famous in here drunk, high, telling everybody, hey, show some love to Kanan. If it wasn't for Kanan, mother effing Stark, we would not have Club Famous right now. But there's a knock at the door. And it's a young lady named Corinne and her mother, Palomar. And they talk about, you need to keep the music down. Miss Davis in 406, she gonna call the police. Now Kanan looking at him like, oh, well, y'all wanna come kick it then? Since we neighbors, come on in. The mom looks, she's like, yeah, my daughter can hang out for a little bit. Okay, let me find out Kanan got a little bit of game. Put some money in the brother's pocket. He know how to talk to women now. Now, I'm not the brightest crown in the book, but it looked like the mama, she looking at Kanan too. And I'm like, man, this is a kid, ma. But she let her daughter come and party, but she said just for a little while. Now, Malcolm is tearing up that NYPD check. Every time we look up, he at the house, he got a new woman over. Now, this woman's name is Andrea, and he actually talking to her, and she knows a few things, but he ain't trying to hear that. He's trying to pay and get her to dip. But he does mention that he has a kid around the same age as her kid. She's like, man, we've been doing this for 7 years, and you never mentioned your kid. You need to be there for your kid. You need to let your kid know that you are their father and you're going to do what you can for it. It's more than just showing up and talk. So Andrea is actually giving him some sound advice. Let's just see if Malcolm is going to use it, because it sounds like it's resonating with him. Jukebox in the mirror, and in comes Rock, and she's asking, have you seen Kanan? She's like, oh, Kanan is down at Famous spot. He got a little bit of money. He's connected with Crown. He owns the building. And you hear Rock mention, oh, Crown, he's in the business with everybody. Because you remember last week he showed up and was trying to get Rock to convince Lulu to get back in the game and out of the studio. Now, Juke does mention, I went to go see my mom, Kenya, today. It was cool, but it was weird. Now, Rock, she turns around and walks slowly, and she's like, Juke, just because you're blood doesn't mean everybody needs to be in your life. Family is earned. So basically what she's trying to do is continue to divide Juke from her mom. Now, we don't know the whole story about Kenya, but there must be something, because Rock is acting the way she is. But we all know Rock is a liar from what she's doing to her own son. Marvin is counting the money. The only thing is the money came up short, 600. So he's looking at Warrell, and Warrell's saying, whoa, I stacked up the money, counted it myself, and I had it in the closet. You remember Kanan went in the closet and took some money. But Marvin says, why is it in the closet? The reason the money was in the closet, and Warrell slips up and says, that's how Neek used to do it. Basically, Neek will have some money during the day. Marvin is saying, is Unique here? You work for us. You do it our way. As soon as the money comes in, the money moves. We don't ever keep it in one spot. That way, if a place gets hit, we will never have anything in the same spot. Especially don't want to have dope and money in the same area. That's a big sign right there of you're going down. If I need you to make a run, can you drive a stick shift? Jukebox shows up. Kanan on the couch with old girl. They get to kissing. She talking about, you got a girl? He said, nah, I'm dolo. She said, nah, I need more. So we got Kanan and Corin over on the couch. Famous thinks he's about to be back in the game. He writing rhymes. He got the spot. And Crown shows up. He wants to talk to Juke. He actually has a demo tape for her that he wants her to actually sing on. Now she looks at it, because you remember Crown says she doesn't have that image, that sex appeal. So he may have made a beat for her to fit her image. I don't know, but Juke took that and she's about to go listen to it. Cartier shows up. Dunn's got a whole mixing board. Here you go, Lulu. If you need something, we can make it happen. But also, Lulu feels like people are in his way, stopping him from making hits. Now these two, they're in a business together. We already heard Dunn's talking to Rock earlier. So he's just out here networking and making his plays. But Lulu thinks people are in his way and is stopping him from getting to the point that he wants to get at. But Dunn's is saying, hey, the CEO of Chrysler, he says, in order to be the boss, you got to set the pace. Everyone else follows your pace. So Lulu, he's thinking like, damn, that's business 101 right there. That was some good stuff. Now let's pull up, because now Lulu is thinking, all right, I got to get real with this music. They put the money back in the bodega, but now they got a security guard sitting out front, just some random guy. But he locks up the door and he just sits back there all day. Juliana is saying Unique keeps coming by the store. He's laughing at us. Rock saying, oh, that's just strategy. It's just a part of the game we play. Now Juliana doesn't really understand the streets. She's saying, oh, I'm not playing the game. Rock walks off. Yeah, you're in the game. It's too late now. You done already been kidnapped. Your cousin, you in the game. You got to play it the way we play it. Kanan comes in and he sees Juke, and they start talking about what happened last night. She said Famous was trying to push up on her a little bit too much last night, but we all know Famous tries to get at her all the time. She gets on Kanan. He was over there on the couch kissing all night, but she's saying she's going to church, her mama's church, and Kanan's like, oh, how did that go? Now, while she's sitting there, she starts talking about how it was a little bit weird, but looking into her mother Kenya's eyes, it seemed like they'd known each other all her life, even though she left when she was only 1. Kanan is sitting there like, damn, because it's got him thinking, is Malcolm really my father? I want to know about my father. Juke knows about both her parents now. Rock's been looking for a house to get her and Kanan about the hood, so everybody can't just pull up to the spot. Now she brings our boy Symphony with us. Last time we seen, he was joking about Kanan owing him some money because of the chips. But she's saying, since you're in urban planning, maybe you could tell me a little bit about architecture and things like this. And of course, Symphony is thinking, why do you have me here, Rock? And she was like, oh, I just want some of your help, but you can leave if you want. And he tells her, look, keep the hardwood floors. Always keep hardwood floors, people. They don't ever go out of style. Big facts. Just put the carpet on top of it. And then Rock, she starts saying, because you know, I want to be able to put a rug on top of my carpet, but I like my carpet like I like my men. She gonna say, thick, pause. Symphony, like, you a clown. She said, now let me show you the bedrooms. Okay, she getting her flirt on. But all of this has been sitting on Symphony's shoulders, and he's thinking, man, I did drive 15 hours to drop that boy Kanan off. Rock, what was that night about? What happened? And she just lies to him and tells him, the block was hot, the cops were out, and I had to get my son out of him. That's all I was doing, was protecting my son. You want to go see these bedrooms? Now, Symphony, he's listening to it. Protecting your son is one thing, but driving him up out the state, a couple of states, yeah, that's something serious. Mr. Unique, he semi-cleaned up his place, and you hear him on the phone saying, hey, there's a package. It'll be going across that bridge on a short bus. But my man's is gonna be on it. He with me. Don't touch him. And in comes Detective Burke. So it looks like Worrell was really playing both sides. And Detective Burke, she knows you got locked up. My partner got shot. If I was you and someone set me up, I'd be really, really upset. Now, Unique, he's trying to lay low. He don't want no one to know he's back in the streets. But he says, look, I go by the motto, live and let live. God gave me a chance. Now I know what I can change. So if you're not buying anything in here, detective, you can go ahead and get on out of here. But she talking about, I got my eye on you. So Unique, he's going to have to lay low. But you see, he made the phone call. They might be hitting up another package. Rock told the realtor, you go ahead and submit that offer. I'll handle everything else. Now she looks at Symphony and says, hey, I'm finally doing it. He's like, that's good. But something just don't feel right with Symphony. He tells her, look, I need you to stop calling me. Stop pulling me back in your life. I don't want anything to do with this. I don't know where we're going. I don't know what's going to come out of it. And it don't feel like you're being truthful with me. And you hear Rock tell him, I'm not doing anything. You're an adult. So it's up for Symphony. When she called for him to come back here, that's all she was doing, was throwing that bait, trying to reel him in. This is on you, Symphony. You're going to have to leave this if you really want to leave it. Because Rock ain't giving up like that. We sending short buses over to Jersey with them things on it. You know what I'm saying? Up under the seats, they got little hidden compartments, little latches. You put the work up under there, we good to go. No one's going to think, let me pull over this little school bus. Rock gets back to the house. Kanan, he's about to leave. She's asking him, where's he going? Of course, he about to go hang with Famous. Famous got the spot. I'm putting up the money. I can hang out over here and I don't have to deal with listening to anything my mom say. When I get around my uncles, they treat me like a kid. So yeah, I'm going to go hang with Famous. Now Rock, she watches Kanan leave. They got Worrell driving his bus with the work on it. He crosses over. He stops at that light. Then the car hits him in the back of the bus. Oh man, it looks like it's about to go down. Unique put that call in. They stopped the bus. He said, don't hurt my boy Worrell. Worrell gets off the bus and then he looks. He's like, all right, time to call Marvin. I got to sell it. Marvin is upset about that because they took the bus also. They didn't just take the work. They took the bus and the work. And now Kanan, he got the address to Malcolm's house. He told his mom he was going to Famous, but he wants answers. Kanan goes up and knocks on the door. Malcolm comes out and sees him. Tells him, come on in. And you hear Kanan narrating and saying some people, they living for the moment. Some people, they looking towards the future. So Malcolm may want to really be that father figure and be in his son's life. Remember I told you Rock watched Kanan leave. Well, he lied about going to Famous and she watched him go into Malcolm's house. So now she knows that he is talking directly to Malcolm on a regular occasion. Now, Kanan is narrating. He says, you're wondering who's going to win, past, present, or the future? He says, why are you asking me? We already know what the future holds for young Kanan, and it ain't very bright. There you go, episode 4, Raising Kanan. I like the direction that the season is going in. This episode gave us answers that we needed answered, and we're actually moving forward. We got the mob. They out here messing with the Thomases. We got Duns potentially opening up new markets and avenues for them to clean their money. Kanan's with his dad. Juke is with her mom. Oh yeah, this is exactly what we needed. What do you think is going to happen with the mob versus the Thomas family? Let me know what you think. I'm J. Make sure you tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Sunday for the live after show discussion for episode 4. Thanks for watching. I'm out.